Bonjour, bienvenue à 13.4 C clauses, the last lesson. Okay, so it's really pretty simple once you see the puzzle. And you know, if this, then I have to do that. And if you can memorize them, it gets it gets easier. But when you're speaking, that's the hard part because you have to kind of keep track of what you said and what you need to say in the future. Whereas writing, you'll have more time and you can plan it out more. So basically, C clauses are if clauses. We talked in 13.3 about our hypotheticals, our conditions. Well, these are the conditions. So if something, then this will happen. And we have to practice now, and we have to remember all of the tenses that you've learned before because they're going to be used now. So, in our conditional phrases, our conditional clauses here, we can have si plus the present tense. Okay, so we'll do si, tu joues au foot. Okay, if you play, we'll say au football américain. Okay, so if you play football, American football, this is the present tense. Now, what comes after that is dependent on the fact that you use present tense. You can only have 3 choices after this. 3 choices of tenses. You can't just make up your own formula. You have to use this formula. So if you start with a si and you follow it with the present, you have 3 choices. You can follow it with another present. So if you play football, si tu joues au football américain, tu es sportif. Okay? So if you play American football, you are athletic. Present, present. We could do something else. If you play American football, we can add the futur. And we'll do the futur simple. Okay? But you can have present in the si clause and then future in the following clause. So, si tu joues au football américain, tu seras, okay, again, the future, not the conditional, it's the future. Tu seras riche. Okay, you will be rich. So again, we have a si in the present, followed by another present, or si in a present sentence, followed by the future, or si in the present, followed by the imperative, imperatif. So if you play football, we're giving a command. Porte un casque. Okay? Wear a helmet. So then we have a command. So again, what we say in our conditional clause, our si, the verb that we use here, that tense, determines what is going to follow. You don't get to pick. Well, in this case, you do have 3 choices, but it has to be one of those. So, si tu joues au football américain, if you play American football, you are athletic, present tense. You will be rich, French, future tense, and wear a helmet, imperative mood, the command. Okay. That brings us to our other condition that we had mentioned in 13.3, si plus the imparfait. Si j'étais, and this is the most popular one to go to help you remember. If I was une couleur, if I was a color. So we have the imperfect, the imparfait, if I was. If you have the si plus imparfait, a verb in the imparfait, you are talking about something that is contrary to the present. So you're still referring to the present, and this is important once we get down to the next part. But it's just not, it's not what's true right now. It's contrary to what is true right now. because I'm not a color. But if I was a color, so see how that's different than what's true right now? If I was a color, so contrary to present fact, I would be. We use the conditional. Okay, so we have our future up here. We're going to go je serai conditional. Okay, je serai. We could say vert. Okay, I would be green. Si j'étais une couleur, imperfect, we're stating something that is contrary to present fact. If I was a color, and then I would be. If you have si in the imparfait, you need to follow that up with the conditional. Which brings us to the last one that is the most difficult, which we are going to talk about a little bit, but you need to know more for French 3, French 4, and so on. This is si plus the plus que parfait. Now the plus que parfait kind of sounds like imparfait, and that's because it is a combination of the imparfait plus basically the passé composé. Okay? That sounds crazy, right? It's really just taking things that you've already learned and then like doing a mashup of the verb tenses, which sounds cool in music but not really fun when it's French. But it's not too bad. So plus que parfait, what does it look like? It's the imparfait, but again combined with our passé composé. So what does that mean? Well, think about this. We're going to use two different verbs here. We're going to use either, what do we use in the passé composé? We either use être, j'étais, or we use avoir. Remember, most commonly, j'étais we use for the Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. Same thing here. Okay? Si j'avais. And then we need to follow it with our past participle. So, si, let's see, si j'avais, past participle, if I acheté, if I had bought, and, or si j'étais né, okay? Remember, Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp. Né, naître, to be born, that's used with être. So, si j'étais né, si j'avais acheté. So this is the plus que parfait. Look how we combine the être in the imparfait and the avoir in the imparfait with the past participle. So why do we use this? Well, let's go back to this one. In this one, it was contrary to present fact. If I was a color, when in fact in the present, I am not like a color on the color wheel. Okay? Now, for this one, it's contrary to past fact, and that's the thing. If I had been born in the 1800s, okay, if I had bought that house, this part is contrary to past fact. This is contrary to present fact. Contrary to past fact, contrary to present fact. If I was a color, I am not currently green or blue. I'm not a color on the color wheel, okay? If I was an animal, I am not an animal. If I was, what other things? If I was a, genre of book, whatever you want to put there. It's opposite of current fact. You're using the imparfait and then followed by the conditional. This is contrary to what has already happened, okay, in the past. So if I basically had been born in the 1800s, or again, if I had bought this house or that house, if I had bought that house, now that brings us to, well, this is the really mind-bending part here. We have the imparfait, which changes to the plus que parfait, okay? And remember that plus que parfait is the imparfait plus our past participle, right? So now we're going to have the conditional, and that's going to change to the past conditional. which is going to do another crazy mashup here. So we had si j'avais acheté cette maison, if I had bought this house, opposite or contrary to past fact, then we're going to have a conditional tense, but it has to be the past conditional, and we're going to use the same format here. We're going to say avoir plus a past participle. J'aurais été contente. Contente. I would have been happy. Again, contrary to past fact, if I had bought the house in the past, already done, past, I would have been happy. We have our conditional with avoir, and then we have our past participle. I would have been happy. And again, if I had been born then, and let's go with a Dr. Mrs. Vander Tramp, let's see. Je serais, let's erase this out of the way. Well, I don't know, maybe if I had been born like in the Stone Age, right? Je serais déjà, I would already be dead. If we're going with lifespan and life expectancy way back when, like with the Black Plague, or that's in the medieval. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. It's again the conditional plus our past participle. So it's acting like it's the passé composé, but for our helping verbs, these are in the conditional, and our helping verbs here are in the imparfait. That, if you can get control of that, then you are set for French 3, and this plus like the subjunctive, you're good. You've got it down. Really, everything else is just using these building blocks and practicing putting them together so you can build something more and more advanced. I mean, my kids play with Legos, so and you just, once you get the pieces that you need, it's up to you to be putting them together and creating something that looks better. So these are all the pieces, and félicitations, congratulations, and bon courage, and bonne chance, good luck. You have what it takes to succeed in speaking French. Okay, au revoir.